People talk about motivation, but motivation is fleeting. Capacity is enduring. Let me say that again. Motivation is fleeting. Capacity is enduring. When you recognize the difference between capacity and motivation, you then get to realize that I must focus on becoming a better version of myself. I must focus on developing the ability to expand and contract based on what's going on in the world. I must develop the ability to regulate my nervous system instead of being driven by my perception of what's going on in the world. Most people don't fail because they lack motivation. They fail because their nervous system cannot sustain the load of what it is that they want to experience in their life, what it is that they want to accomplish in their life. Their nervous system simply cannot hold it. It cannot hold that power and potency coming in. They have motivation, they have desire, but capacity is really what gives us strength. Capacity is what gives us power. Capacity is our ability to hold a container full of what it is that we desire in a regulated state without imploding, without going into a sympathetic fight or flight state. This is so important. People talk about motivation, but motivation is fleeting. Capacity is enduring. Let me say that again. Motivation is fleeting. Capacity is enduring. When you recognize the difference between capacity and motivation, you then get to realize that I must focus on becoming a better version of myself. I must focus on developing the ability to expand and contract based on what's going on in the world. I must develop the ability to regulate my nervous system instead of being driven by my perception of what's going on in the world. Different people give different meanings to the same input received at the same time. When we talk about capacity, we talk about the ability to regulate a state, to be calm, relaxed, and peaceful, regardless of what's going on. Now, the interesting thing between capacity and motivation is something that comes from within. Motivation is curated by our perception of environment. So if we're perceiving environment as being dangerous, harmful, or undesirable, we're going to activate sympathetic fight or flight. Happens every time. But if we have the capacity to view whatever's going on in our world, to view it with a sense of, oh, this is happening and I'm coming back into a state of balance, then we don't get so flustered, we don't get so out of balance, we don't get so upset about what we perceive as going on in the world. Far too many people mistake being strong, being willing, pushing through, getting through it regardless, fake it till you make it, for a sign of skill and ability. When actually that is working against us. It's kind of like driving around with the emergency brake on. Instead of saying, what do I need to do to have the capacity to hold all the experiences that I'm having? What do I need to do to have the capacity for my nervous system to actually be in an optimal peak state? What do I need to do in order to have that be part of my life in a way that's meaningful, that's sustainable, that's long-lasting, that I can use to create an even better life for myself? And in fact, how can I pass that on to my clients in ways that are meaningful, as opposed to flip-flopping around, struggling, which we all do from time to time? Capacity is not character. Capacity is not willpower. Capacity is a visceral feeling in your nervous system that says, yes, I've lived through some experiences. I've lived through some difficulties. I've lived through some challenging times. And I know that this too shall pass. I know that I will move through these things, and I know that I will move through these things in a way that makes me an even better version of myself. It's not about want. Want is the evidence of lack. Wanting isn't enough. We've got to get the desire, the intention, the vision, the focus into the nervous system. Got to get that into the nervous system so it becomes an automatic behavior, an automatic focus. And as an automatic focus grows stronger and stronger, guess what happens? Our capacity expands. We're no longer triggered by what used to bother us. We're no longer triggered by our old ghosts, our old demons, the old shadowy ghosts that used to plague us. We don't withdraw anymore. We stand tall in terms of the truth of who we are. We stand tall. We're no longer weak. We're facing our challenges every single day. This is something you have the ability to do. It's not about motivation. It's not about pushing harder. It's not about fake it till you make. It's not about go, 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 go. It's about yes, 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 yes. How can I get that capacity into my nervous system? Probably one of the quickest ways of getting that capacity into the nervous system is through self-hypnosis. Easy for me to say because I'm a medical support clinical hypnotherapist. However, I've studied this and practiced this for over 13 years. Self-hypnosis came into my life at a time when I was in unbearable pain. When I was lying in a hospital bed in a coma, and the doctor said to my mother, "Be prepared, ma'am, if your son survives this, he will be significantly disabled for the rest of his life." Now, those words were prophetic. They were prophetic. And yes, I am differently abled, very differently abled. I think about things differently. I was able to control the pain in my body after I awakened from the coma. That to me counts as differently abled. No disrespect for people that identify with the word and the label disabled. No disrespect at all. Not minimizing whatsoever. What I'm saying is a challenging experience changed the way that I think. And therefore, in that context, my capacity grew and I was able to leverage future rewards. I was able to motivate myself going forward, not to push harder, but to look inward. To look inward. There's a saying, one of my favorite sayings is, I pushed for 26 years to get to the top. To get to the top of a corporate climb, I pushed for 26 years, pushing against a door that opens in. Who would ever in their right mind push against a door that opens in? Well, I did it. I did it unknowingly. I thought that if I just continue going, if I just continue motivating myself, I'll get to my goal, I'll get to my outcome. But it's not about motivation. Motivation is driven by some desire inside of us that may be maladapted. Motivation is driven by a feeling tone in our body that may be reacting to a perceived danger that's actually not there. Capacity, that's what gives us the ability to strengthen the power. I look at it this way. Capacity is like RAM in a computer. Capacity is the ability to do several things at a time, or the ability to hold several bits of information in our awareness at one time. And when we hold that in our awareness at one time and can still function, that's capacity. But when we run out of steam, when we run out of juice and collapse, then we need to reboot. That's motivation. Let's build capacity. What do you need to believe is true about yourself in order to build capacity in your life? If this is resonating with you, hit the like and subscribe button and follow me for more content. It's Christian Raphael signing off. Be kind, be well, be a blessing.